Hello and welcome to computer class. My name is Dave and today we're giving an introduction to Excel. So open up Microsoft Excel and we will get started. Alright, so this is the interface of Microsoft Excel and basically this home tab is when you launch the interface is what greets you. This home tab has a grouping of both the new tab and the open tab, and if I click on the new tab here, you can see it has all of the templates that are listed here. Here's a sampling. You hit more templates, it'll simply take you to the new tab. You can search for templates. They've got lots of selections here, things like a calendar, personal budget, and such. Definitely helpful to check those out. When you go to the Open tab, of course, you'll be able to search through documents you recently opened, as well as I'm going to have to blur this out because this is my OneDrive account here. When you go to the Account tab, you'll see what you're signed into, your specific account for Microsoft 365. You'll also be able to check for updates right here, which is a super helpful feature, as well as learn more about Excel and see what's new and manage some privacy settings. You can go to the Feedback tab and tell Excel how they're doing, actually tell Microsoft how they're doing, and give a suggestion if you want to. And then as well as there's an options box here, which allows you to dive deeper into the settings of Excel if you want to change something. So that's basically that. If we hit the File tab here, I'm just going to click on a blank workbook to get started and help us reviewing the interface of Excel. So across the tabbed interface we have here at the top, we have different tabs, and this is known as the ribbon. And in the ribbon, we start with File, and File is basically where we go to see something called Backstage View, as Microsoft calls it. It has helpful features such as Save As, um, and Print, which are probably most useful when you're going to this Backstage View, as well as opening a new document or potentially opening a recent one if you want to refer to other data. On the Home tab, we've got things like the Format Painter and some font options, alignment, merge and center, probably really helpful there. Conditional formatting, inserting a row or cell, filling something, auto-filling with a sum. Insert tab, we've got pictures and shapes. You can insert smart art, get some add-ons, maybe a chart or two, using a slicer, and different things we'll talk about throughout the course here. Page layout, we've got themes, margins, orientation, size, all very helpful in Excel, as well as print area, which is probably the most helpful feature on this page. Sending something backward or forward in case you have multiple items on top of each other. Formulas, there's a wide range of formulas here. As you can see, there's even listings of them. You've got the recently used or the main ones you might do. Auto sum features, financial formulas, trigonometry formulas, and so on. Formulas and so on. You can do different things, the calculations on this page. Data, of course, deals with data in its entirety. Things you can filter, maybe do text to columns, which is an extremely helpful feature. Grouping things, ungrouping things. That's the like of that tab. Review, we've got spelling, thesaurus across the top, making a comment, protecting a workbook, and so on. View, normal view is what it's currently on, but there's other layouts as well. You can turn off different menu bars if you want to, headings and such, zooming in, zooming out, splitting things, freezing panes. There's a help feature, many ways to get a hold of Microsoft and let them know how they're doing, and as well as the integrated Adobe Acrobat there. All right, so let's actually start with once we've got these different tabs down. Let's take a look at this this workbook area. So individual selections are called cells, and down the side here we have rows. So it starts out 1, 2, 3, 4, and subsequent. Across the top we have columns A, B, C, D, and it goes basically. I mean, I've never used up all the cells that exist, but it goes pretty infinitely that way. If you want to know what the endpoint is, you just hold down Control and press the arrow key, and it goes all the way to the end. And you can press the back arrow key to see, as well as you could go down if you wanted to all the way to the bottom. That's the final cell that you can go to apparently. Anyway, if you want to select a group of cells, the idea is that you click and hold and then mouse over as many as you want to select, which can be helpful for doing different types of things in Excel. If you want to get a column, which by the way grabs all the way to the end of the document, this direction, you would hold down on a column itself, and you can select as many as you want. You can drag down and you can drag upright. Okay. Also, it works the same across the top, columns as well. Um, a nice feature to know is if you want to hold down Shift, you can actually arrow over using the arrow keys and select a region, which can be faster at selecting things if your mouse is difficult to scroll or drag or something like that. So that's pretty helpful. And so basically that's the way we deal with data is we click and drag and we select it and then we're able to manipulate it. Okay. Across the bottom here, you'll notice that we have several sheets. This is sheet 1. If I double click, I can name this sheet, and I can add another sheet if I want to. It will just become sheet 2. If I right click, I can delete that sheet in case you don't need it or didn't want it from before. Down here at the bottom, we have several views. We've got page layout. That's simply going to show how things are printed, which is really helpful, knowing how data is going to spill over or how many sheets that things are going to equal. And then we've got one for um, just a general view for when things are page breaks are done. That's what that's for, as well as the zoom in and zoom out feature, which can be helpful depending on what you need. Across the top, we've got a quick access toolbar, which most people will leave what's checked on here: undo, redo, save, for saving the document, which by the way, this is only after you save the document for the first time. And then you have the name of the workbook here. Searching for a feature, if you can't remember where it is, you just search for formula. It'll bring it up and teach you how to do it. And then, of course, your account name is right there. All right, so let's build a simple, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Let's build a simple worksheet here and complete some calculations. Don't mind me, I'm just going to be looking off at my notes on this side over here. So let's do 5 of these in the highlight here, and then we're going to hit merge and center just to get a quick variation of what we're doing. We're going to type t-shirt sales. All right, and then down the side here, we'll type extra small. And it should be noted if you want to be able to resize a cell, you can just pull it apart. Or if you want best fit, as Excel calls it, you just double click in between the cells. Okay, so we have extra small, small, and if you want to move over when typing data, you hit tab. If you want to move down after I typed small, I could hit enter and it moves me down. So I'm going to do medium. If I could spell, large. And again, I keep hitting over because normally I'd be typing that direction, but nonetheless, extra large. Notice it's auto-filling for me. That's nice. All right, and then we're going to put daily total. All right. So now data a lot of times is given to us in many different ways in Excel, and usually when you put it in, it's numeric data. You'll notice that the data for words is aligned to the left, but the moment we put in a piece of data like 87, for instance, it's going to be aligned to the right. So 44, let's just put in some data here, 76, 34, 23. Let's say I wanted to insert a row above Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What I would do is I would click in this row and then right click and hit insert, and it would insert a section above my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday days of the week. All right, so now I'm going to add in some more numbers here: 34, 45, 23, 12, just random numbers to be honest, just to have some data. And in order to really complete what we're trying to do, we have to have something here. All right, so the daily totals, as you can see here, need to add up all of the sizes of t-shirt sales, And so what we do to insert or to add things up is we insert a formula. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click in the cell and say equals sum, and then select do a parentheses, and then select the first cell here, and I'm going to click and drag down and do the closing parentheses. Okay, then I press enter. It's going to add up everything. And again, I could do it here for this one. I could do equals sum, and sum just happens to be a formula that sums everything together. Again, putting the parentheses and then clicking and dragging and then closing parentheses and pressing enter. Now, if I want to, I can real quickly copy this formula by, you notice when I click in the corner, the little fill handle changes to a black plus sign, and then I can drag that formula over. And what it'll do is if I click in these, this is known as the formula bar, and it shows and displays what each formula is. And as I copied over, it moved the cell values over so that it was summarizing these for this one, summarizing these for this one, summarizing these for this one. Okay. The next thing I can do is color cells to make this look a little bit differently. And what I would do is I would use the bucket tool here. And it's recommended when you're coloring cells that you make it readable. So not too dark would be a great idea. I think I'm going to do a yellow there. Down the side, maybe we'll have our sizes. Maybe we'll put that to green, perhaps. Maybe even a light green. See, something like that's too dark, as you can tell. Again, sometimes lighter things are better. So we'll do green. And then our daily total, since that's pretty important, we'll give it a not so much of a red there. We can hit more colors if we want. Click on a red, maybe a lighter red. Maybe if that's not to your liking, you can pick a custom color. Really light red. Here we can pick lighter value. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, and then we have potentially on this end of things, we could add this direction if we wanted to. And this is the power of spreadsheets. So we could do another sum. So equals sum, and then what we could call this is the totals for each of these for the week, the extra small, the small. So we'd want to click and drag this direction. Close out that. And let's give this a total. And what we could do is, I noticed it copied that selection there, but we need a little bit of room in between these. We could format paint this one, and there we go. Make that total look the same as well. And then we could drag this down again to copy the formula. Maybe right here at the bottom we could add the weekly total. But you see that really doesn't look good because it's like sticking off the end there. So probably a better way to do this would potentially be to come down here, add these two cells together, say weekly total, put a colon, and then in this cell right here, we could do the equals sum, put the parentheses, and again, click and drag. Now, you could type out the cell values H5, and again, you'd have to kind of do that in your head. You have to kind of come down H. This starts at H5. Notice all the way over here, that's the column. And the other cell value is H10, so you could kind of do that and figure it out and then type it out. But either way, it works. If we want this to be a dollar sign, we could just come up here and click the dollar sign, and there we go. We kind of get the place value there if we want to. You can either decrease or increase the number of zeros on the end. I'm going to get rid of them. And so there you have it. You have a great example of how to use Excel, just a simple spreadsheet we made here, just learning about the interface and how things interact and how the cells are utilized to create effective spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are incredibly powerful. You can use them for many things. You can use them for organizing data and making calculations. Probably the most useful tool for anyone in business or keeping track of large quantities of information. And so hopefully you've learned something today on how to use Excel, at least on a basic introductory level. And as always, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you in the next video.